Story time. So a few weeks ago, I'm scrolling through Instagram. It's 2 a.m. It's in the dark, dozing off, and a post pops up. Woo. And I recognize my rhythm, my framing, my cadence, repackaged, repositioned, presented as original thought. My first instinct was sitting straight up in the bed and audibly saying out loud, "They stole my shit." The problem is that over the past year, I've seen this repeated in too many different ways by too many people to name. And one specific one we'll get to in detail in just a bit. The rest are mostly irrelevant. People with, yes, bigger platforms, but clearly smaller points of view. It is what it is. People with all the audience, but none of the allure. Because as far as I'm concerned, if you're the front runner, why look back at what everyone else is doing? I see my language in your mouth. I see my ideas in your posts. Your thoughts are proof that you see me. And now you know that I see you seeing me too. And so while my initial response was a mix of rage, confusion, and betrayal, I realized what I really want to say is thanks. Because you all reminded me of something I don't even think I even could have taught myself, really. You'll never fall behind someone using you as a compass. But the feeling, though, that searing, familiar feeling of watching your work show up in someone else's packaging, I know that it's not just me that feels that way. And it certainly ain't something new. If you are a Black, brown, and or a builder of a smaller platform, one that's just getting started, if you've ever created something, anything, you know the feeling that I'm talking about. The feeling of theft, being stripped, the feeling of watching people take credit for what they didn't create. So on this episode, in recognition of Black History Month, I want to talk about how taking credit for things that don't belong to you is as American as apple pie. This country was built on stolen land by stolen people. We know that. Theft and the benefits that come with it are very much a feature of this operating system. 1955, Chuck Berry picks up a guitar and invents rock and roll. The duck walk, the showmanship, the distortion, the energy. He built a genre. And then we watch Elvis Presley become the king of it. And Elvis didn't hide it either. Nobody did. But the industry didn't need Elvis to be original. They needed him to sound like somebody Black in a body America was comfortable buying from. Chuck Berry knew it. He watched Elvis and he knew he was the source. But he kept playing anyway. Because, what else was he supposed to do? Stop being Chuck Berry? That's the pattern. Hip hop, born in the Bronx and becomes the most consumed genre on the planet, while the people who profit most from it aren't even the people who built it. Dapper Dan gets shut down by the fashion houses in the 80s for reinventing fashion with their logos, creating an entire aesthetic straight out of Harlem. Then 30 years later, Gucci comes back and hires him like he wasn't there the whole time, waiting for them to catch up. Let's talk about slang. Drip, slay, no cap, hits different, slaps, is given. Every one of these started on Black lips, in Black group chats, in Black culture, and ended up in the brand's marketing deck, credited to nobody. Corporate America is out here using African-American vernacular English to sell sneakers and smoothies, while the people who created it don't get a dime. Strip the face from the source, repackage the genius, sell it back in a more palatable package. That's the pattern. That's America. And now, fast forward to the content era, a never-ending feed where it's easy to say things and harder to trace where they started. And idea-deficient content creators are stealing at will. And this is why it matters right now. In the age of algorithms and AI, the cycle of Black innovation to mainstream adoption isn't a decade-long arc anymore. It's months, sometimes weeks. You post a framework on Monday, by Friday, someone with a bigger platform has independently arrived at the same idea. The algorithm doesn't care who was first. It cares who was loudest. It cares who had the most followers when the idea hit. And AI is about to make it even worse, scraping our ideas, remixing our language, erasing the fingerprints entirely. On December 31st, the head of Instagram, Adam Mosseri, posted a carousel about AI and creativity. On slide 6, it said, "Authenticity is becoming a scarce resource. The bar is shifting from can you create to can you make something only you could create." 7 months earlier, in May, I wrote an article called "The Bar Will Move: Creativity, Capitalism, and the Age of AI." In it, I wrote, the human touch will be the new scarce resource. Whenever everyone reaches the bar moves. In a world where everyone has access to the same tools, what makes your work undeniably yours? That's me bar for bar, no pun. I asked what makes your work undeniably yours, and apparently the answer is just be big enough so nobody knows you stole it. Same pattern, different century. So I had to sit with that. I let the bitterness breathe, and then I caught myself and I said, this is exactly what the system wants. Me spiraling, paralyzed, so focused on what was taken that I forgot I'm the one who made it in the first place, so I can make more. And then further, I realized if I'm feeling this, you're feeling this as well. So let's talk about it. Every Black creative who's ever watched their genius get repackaged, every Black builder who's seen their framework show up in somebody else's mouth, every Black thinker who's felt the weight of being the light source in the world constantly trying to drown you in shadows. We could let it stop us, or we could recognize it for what it is. All of that taking is evidence that you are the source. To be great is to be inspirational. To be great is to be the blueprint. To be great is to be stolen from. There is clarity and power in honoring that fact. And I want it to serve as a fire for any of you who contemplate giving up when you feel like the odds are intentionally stacked against you. We contribute to American culture. We are American culture. The music, the fashion, the language, the movement, the swag, the innovation, resilience. We set the tempo while the world tries to catch the beat. So people will take your cadence and call it a trend. People will take your frameworks and call it an insight. People will take your whole vibe and call it a pivot. But the show goes on. The moment you stop letting the expression flow is the moment they get to pretend the river was always theirs. But all of us are connected to a source that never runs dry. People can take the water, but they can't take the spring. So to every creator watching this, every builder, every thinker who has ever felt this weight, you are not behind. You are the blueprint. You'll never fall behind anyone using you as a compass. And if all they can do is copy, that means all they can do is wait for you to move first. So let's move. Keep building, keep thinking, keep doing. Black History Month and every month. Show up, show out. Do you, be you. That's the one thing nobody else can do. As always, stay curious, stay inspired.